Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the astrological energies from November 6th until November 13th, as we are in the depths of Scorpio season, and it is certainly bringing the intensity in our feelings, passions, convictions, and depths of our being. I am recording this after the US election. And one thing that I think would be very supportive for everyone is that the day after any type of national election should be National Workout Day, when we all engage in releasing energies and anything we're feeling in a healthy, productive way, especially with Mars now in Leo that has more energy for movement, that wants to take action, and even needs to allow anything that's been lit up to move through you in a healthy, conscious way. We actually don't have any major transiting aspects occurring until November 9th, when Venus in Sagittarius squares Neptune, and I will touch on that in just a moment. So when we don't have any major transiting aspects unfolding, the moon becomes more pronounced. And the moon is currently in Capricorn until Thursday, November 7th, where it will make the final conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees. So this is the final lunar cycle of the moon interacting with 16 years of energy and 16 years of a personal process that has been unfolding for you in the Capricorn areas of your life. And here comes this moon asking you to be in your authority and mastery around how you feel it, what you intentionally choose, as well as looking at how much you have transformed at an emotional level, what you've been learning and applying that is circling around for the final time this week. Safe to say that there is a lot of emotional energy in the collective right now, and the moon conjunct Pluto can stir up those deeper fears, as well as offer a purge and a cathartic process of release. The moon in Capricorn is able to hold it together and is certainly not known for being emotionally demonstrative. But since this is the last time the moon in Capricorn will be conjunct Pluto in Capricorn in our lifetime, there can be much more that comes out and comes up. Then the moon will enter Aquarius and make an immediate opposition to Mars in Leo. So safe to say we are in big emotional territory that we will be navigating for a while, and this provides yet another opportunity to be in our conscious power around how we show up during these big energy periods. So Mars in Leo is ready to go forward. There is a sense of pride and strength. There is a desire to move ahead. Yet, as we know, Mars will be stationing retrograde on December 6th at 6 degrees of Leo. So for the next month, this Mars in Leo is moving slowly, only moving 7 degrees, and is requiring us to stay mindful of our self-expression, what we are fixated on and moving towards, as well as implementing our creativity for greater self-expression right now. This Mars is courageous, determined, inspired, and fixated on moving towards a particular goal. So look at what you want and understand what that could be, but know that with the upcoming retrograde, there is going to be a slowdown. And this year is going to end with a sense of, let me come back into myself and understand my true motivation. Let me return to where I'm sourcing my power and ensure it is properly aligned with my heart And that's because the Mars retrograde will not only move through those early degrees of Leo, but re-enters Cancer and journeys back to 17 degrees of Cancer. And both the Cancer and Leo energies have a yin-yang quality to them, where we are learning to integrate more of the masculine and the feminine in our heart space, and to allow that energy to move us forward, to be in a balanced understanding of what you feel is real, as well as what you want and desire is real, and how do you bring those together. And this will be part of the work of the upcoming Mars retrograde. And I will have a separate podcast episode for you on that topic, going through the specifics even more. But for now, just know that however you need to move or assert your energy, whatever you need to express or create, whatever is calling to you, requires greater consciousness right now, requires you to really be in control of it, even to temper it as needed, because the scorching flames of the fire signs can be irresponsible, short-sighted, and not aware of the consequences of their actions. So essentially, this is about being aware of cause and effect, aware of how you're using your energy, and also trusting when you feel it's necessary to hold back or to not move ahead at full speed. We also have Mercury in Sagittarius entering his shadow zone territory as of November 6th. Mercury's upcoming retrograde begins on November 25th at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, and then Mercury will travel back to 6 degrees of Sagittarius and station direct December 15th. So in your chart, the Mercury retrograde territory is 6 degrees to 22 degrees of Sagittarius. We have just entered the shadow zone now, and this also is a time to be more cautious and self-aware of what you're saying, expressing, and how it's coming across, because this Mercury in Sagittarius is in a very interesting energy phase. Now, we say that Mercury is in his detriment in Sagittarius, and that's because his home turf is Gemini, and when he's in Sagittarius, he overlooks the details. He misses the specifics. He spouts off or declares something or says things without having perhaps the full story, all the specifics, or all the facts. Now, this particular Mercury retrograde is going to be squaring Saturn in Pisces and opposing Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, also known for being in the detriment sign of Jupiter. This is also interesting because Mercury in Sagittarius opposing Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, they're in mutual reception. So they're both in each other's sign, but they're in each other's strength. And so there is a need here to realign our belief systems, our thought patterns, to stay flexible in what we don't know, to stay open to more stories, more particulars, and more information as it arrives. We're in for a very interesting Mercury retrograde, and that energy is coming in now as Mercury reaches 6 degrees of Sagittarius and is approaching the first square to Saturn on November 12th, and I will talk more about that in a moment. So this could be a time when we are learning to be more responsible with our thoughts, our opinions, our ideologies. This is a Mercury retrograde where it would be best to say, let me think about that some more, or let me research that, let me look into that a bit more, because there's a lot of information swirling around. It can feel difficult to be grounded or clear. And this is also the energy of being challenged for what you think and what you believe, which basically describes a lot of the energy in the collective at this time, and being willing to keep a conversation going even when it's uncomfortable. So keep in mind, this energy does last into early January. So there are definitely going to be some wild conversations at the Thanksgiving table. There could be some big blowouts if there haven't already been, including more exaggerated perspectives, extreme opinions, and misunderstandings. It can take time to remedy some of these energies. Just as I'm looking at the astrology here, it looks like some things could be inflated or getting bigger before they settle down. And again, that's because of this T-square that Mercury and Sagittarius is moving through in November and December. The positive traits to focus on would be listening for clarity and understanding, being willing to consider another perspective or another opinion, asking questions that bring about further understanding instead of shutting down a conversation, and also stepping away and perhaps not engaging if the energy is too big. And that could be what many people are feeling at this time. So going off of the astrology here, the opinions and discussions are going to continue and they're going to be big. So we each have a choice in how we deal with that and how we engage, and also determining what is best for your energy and the responsible use of your own Mercury expressions during this particular cycle. And just to be honest and straightforward with you, when I look at these energies, there can be very little desire to budge or to resolve anything right now. So for all the ways that we can know how to be better communicators and better listeners, there's the energy too of perhaps having mental fatigue and just being too exhausted, especially at this point in the year. It's a great time to prioritize self-care, to prioritize what is best for your mind and nervous system and well-being, to perhaps step away if needed, and to look at where detaching from multiple opinions is what serves you best. Now on November 9th, Venus in Sagittarius squares Neptune retrograde in Pisces at 27 degrees, and then she will be conjunct the Galactic Center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius as well. So this Venus is bringing to life more of what we believe about ourselves and our journeys in this lifetime. One of the best ways to work with this Venus in Sagittarius squaring Neptune and conjunct the Galactic Center is to look at how you are desiring to expand at this point on your journey. What serves you best? What is really loving and kind to your own energy, where you can establish boundaries and step away from anything that is depleting you, and then invest in what is best for you. Because that expansion really takes off as Venus interacts in Sagittarius with the Galactic Center, and you could receive higher understandings, new outlooks. You could feel that you're getting some brilliant downloads and that more is coming through, especially from your soul's frequency around what is nourishing, positive, and uplifting for you right now. So that can be an opening. Again, that's on November 9th. And that might be a really beautiful way to listen to yourself and to tune in to those higher frequencies. I feel that Venus gets a burst of energy when she is conjunct the Galactic Center, but the square to Neptune and Pisces can be dissolving, can be something where she just wants to give up or step away. She's feeling discouraged. But I think that is because she feels disconnected from what she really needs. So use this energy to determine what would really light me up right now. What would really be creative and expansive and open me up to what I enjoy about myself and my life at this time. And when you focus on that, of course, it's going to raise your vibration and give you more connection points to what you can manifest next in your life. So I see this Venus transit occurring as a powerful checking in point for where you want to go next, what adventure calls to you, what opportunities are presenting themselves, and what manifestations you want to move towards. Now, after this interaction with Neptune and the Galactic Center, Venus enters Capricorn on November 11th. And I'm happy to say that she will not have a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn. Now, she is going to have a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius, and that will occur later in December. But she is not meeting up with Pluto in Capricorn. So this allows us to not revisit those same karmic themes that she's been dealing with for the past 16 years. So Venus enters Capricorn on November 11th, and she's ready for business. She's ready to be in a fuller sense of her personal integrity and self-respect. This is a Venus that makes moves and takes charge, yet she is also cautious. She's an observer. She wants to see how things are going, what is playing out, what is worth her time, energy, and attention. So this Venus actually slows down in Capricorn, but she's able to be in a sense of self that she has gracefully embodied. There is a grace with Venus in Capricorn as she steps into more of her mastery. She's not here for any silliness or funny business. Rather, she's here to look at, what do I want to create next? What really calls to me? And this brings up matters of relationships, partnerships, connections, and she takes those seriously. She takes them seriously because there's a realization here. I only have so much time, energy, and effort in a day. Who do I want to give that to? Who do I feel is on the same page? Who do I connect with in an authentic, genuine manner? Who do I feel is my equal? And I have a sense that they also respect me. So this is where Venus is understanding the importance of quality over quantity, and she's reevaluating what matters to her now. Now, I say that because she's also approaching a square to the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. This square occurs with her in Capricorn, and it comes up during the upcoming Taurus Full Moon on November 15th. And I have a video for you on YouTube going through the chart of that Taurus full moon. And it's important because Taurus is ruled by Venus. Here we have Venus in the earthly, practical world of Capricorn, and she is squaring the nodes of fate. So she's ready to make big choices. And as she squares the South Node and the North Node, she's understanding more about the people that fulfill her, what brings her more of what she needs, and perhaps has more of a quiet or silent understanding of the people she's moving away from. So I want to offer that now as we move towards the Taurus full moon, is that you could be realizing the people you don't have much in common with, that you don't share the same values, you're not looking for a shared path in the future. And this Venus in Capricorn is understanding that and sitting with it. There's a wisdom here around the fact that everyone is on their own path. Not all friendships are meant to travel with us forever, and that it's normal for people to come and go in our lives. So I do feel that this Venus in Capricorn is important this week, but also is carefully assessing her values and priorities as we approach the Taurus full moon on November 15th. Now, also on November 11th, the Sun in Scorpio makes two inconjuncts, and the inconjuncts are 150 degrees apart from another planet. The Sun in Scorpio is inconjunct Jupiter retrograde in Gemini and inconjunct Chiron retrograde in Aries, and that occurs at 19 and 20 degrees. And so the way I would summarize this is that the Sun in Scorpio feels a lot. There's an intensity in the emotional body right now. And you don't need me to over-explain that, right? Like, you get it. You're feeling it maybe for yourself in one way or another. You're seeing it in the collective. The energies are very deep right now, and they are perhaps even all-consuming for some people. And so with the Sun in Scorpio making an inconjunct to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, there's a sense of, I don't want small talk. I don't want to waste my energy on chit-chat or water cooler dialogue. I'm in my feelings. I have a lot going on. I'm not interested in things that are potentially minor and just insincere. Then the Sun in Scorpio in conjunct Chiron retrograde in Aries can feel like a personal wound. Something is affecting you deeply. There's a sense of, what do I do with not only the feelings, but the anger or whatever you're moving through that doesn't feel healing. So November 11th, that Sun in Scorpio making an inconjunct to Jupiter in Gemini retrograde, Chiron in Aries retrograde is basically saying, I'm feeling too much right now. I'm not able to talk about it, and I'm not willing to heal it. I'm just in a more intense experience. So of course, trust what that feels like for you, but you could feel that in others, that people have their walls up, you're not able to engage them, they are not feeling lighthearted, or you're not feeling lighthearted. And that Sun in Scorpio is asking you to be brave and courageous to go into what you're really feeling. Don't fake it, but also be responsible with it. Don't just lash out or use that Scorpio stinger to induce harm. Rather, be aware of what you're feeling and give yourself the time and space to move through it. The Sun in Scorpio is quite private, and you might need that. You might need to retract right now. You could also be seeing that many people have passionate displays going on, and they're on the other side of the spectrum. This is also the Scorpio expressions, where there's very little middle ground. The Scorpio energies are extreme, and they could be pulling us into some extremes that don't go away easily. This is simply the energy in the collective. I'm sure it's not a surprise to you, but it is fascinating when the astrology helps us to understand it more, helps us to at least get a mental grip on what is unfolding and how it relates to the cosmos. It's also essential to move the emotions through you, whatever those are. And that could be jubilation, and that could be deep pain, anger, and sorrow. And so take what you need right now. Prioritize what is best for your own well-being. If you need to silence your phone, go for a long walk, do something artistic and joyful, return to your body, avoid the media for a bit, and then understand how others are celebrating and are feeling relief and joy. So there's a full active spectrum of emotions going on right now, which can feel like way too much depending on where you're at. So prioritize you. And that's the best thing that each person can do at this time, because above it all, we are energetic beings. We are energetic, soulful beings who are bigger and more expansive than any one situation, experience, or event. And those events and these experiences are going to continue. That's the nature of the world. We're always going to have the next thing, the next event, the next situation. But it doesn't change the fact that we are powerful, energetic beings who are beyond one label or one experience. We are limitless in our energies and in our expressions, and everything is temporary. Everything is a temporary energetic experience that takes us to the next, that takes us to the next, that takes us forward. And it's our ability to travel with higher wisdom that will help us navigate where the world is going and what is unfolding next. And to be real with you, the energies are not slowing down, they're only speeding up. We are not even in the fast lane yet. We have not even accelerated into the fast lane, which is where we're going in 2025 and beyond. We haven't even entered it yet. We're barely on the freeway on-ramp. So understand that how you work with energy now can be a wonderful opportunity for you to be in charge, to feel empowered, to be aware of what is best for you. If you are someone who is happy and celebrating and feeling so light right now, be sure and spread that energy across the collective. Offer that back out without any particular dogma or agenda attached. Rather, it's offering pure light and a sense of trust and hope that can support others. And that's one of the best ways we can deal with the extreme energies on the planet now. The polarizing energies can actually integrate in the higher realms. The polarizing energies can come together and expand each other for the best and highest good of all. That's the mastery work. That's where you go higher and you don't stay in one simple version or understanding. You go up into the higher realms that keeps the energy moving, that allows the universe to continually co-create with you, that raises you out of the mental body, that raises you out of the emotional body, and allows you to work with yourself as this limitless being who is designed to feel and experience everything. So the more you can nourish that in yourself, the more you can rise out of anything that is feeling really dense and heavy, the more you are reconnecting to what you truly are. Now, I want to say honestly, do not spiritually bypass this. If some of you are really in it, be in it. Honor your feelings. Honor what's coming up for you. Talk it out. Work it out. Like there's no bypassing the human experience. And I know that's something that many people will offer. It's like you're not meant to rush to peace if you're feeling turmoil within. Honor the turmoil. Honor the anger. Honor whatever that is for you. But also understand that there are people who are also honoring what they're feeling, and it could be the exact opposite of you, but don't turn against them. We don't need to keep turning against each other. We can be responsible in knowing that what I feel is valid, what's going on for me is real. I need to honor this for however long it takes. Beautiful, beautiful responsibility. But it isn't about then waging war on others or othering people and making them the enemy. Because how many cycles have we done that? How many times in history have we done that? So that's what I mean when I say go higher. Go higher into how you can be a better version of yourself right now, wherever you're at, and allow that to be enough. And also look at how much your energy matters, how much your ability to self-love at this time is essential for however you're feeling. Because I know that people who listen to this, you have multiple ideologies and belief systems. You are not just one demographic. And this is an opportunity to expand beyond what we've experienced before, to expand into new approaches, understandings, and solutions when the time is right. When the time is right for you, which can be different than your neighbor or the person at the desk next to you. So, of course, the first priority is honoring your human self-care. And then if and when you're ready to expand up into a higher consciousness and knowingness, that we are masters who can alchemize energies, all energies. This is also one of the gifts of Scorpio season, is the alchemy process and the ability to create and form something even more beautiful than what it was previously. And our human passion, our human emotion and energy can absolutely do that. But it's certainly tricky to manage because I'm getting the visual here of two tunnels, and one tunnel feels like the dark night of the soul, and one tunnel is quite light-filled and pulsing with excitement. And it's hard to reconcile those two at times when you're in one or the other. And yet the truth is we are all one. We are all of it. We are all of these energies and experiences and more. And that's part of how we are gifted with understanding not only the human experience, but the ongoing variances that we have to navigate. Now, on November 12th, Mercury and Sagittarius makes the first square to Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 12 degrees. This is not a good day for communications or important discussions. In fact, this could be a day that is challenging in what you want to express and what you want to say. It's a better day to take a break or put up that do not disturb sign if possible. I realize that isn't realistic and you can't just turn off communications on a Tuesday. But if you can schedule fewer meetings, if you can step away and not be as available, that might feel correct. Again, that's November 12th when Mercury in Sagittarius squares Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 12 degrees. One of the many themes we are continually learning on the ascension journey is our ability to connect to divine oneness. And there are times when that feels the hardest, the most difficult, and you're like, I don't even want to do that, Molly. I don't even want to think about the law of divine oneness right now. I could care less. Totally valid. Totally fine if that's where your energy's at. But the universe is always there. The universe never loses track of that law of divine oneness and how we are here to be more powerful united than separated, and that our energy is naturally connected to each other. That the law of divine oneness also is a direct connection to your soul's peace frequency, to the frequency of trusting the ebbs and flows, to rising with the highs and sinking with the lows, knowing that the valleys and the peaks are part of the human terrain. And even though we journey through this lifetime with so many experiences that pull us in multiple directions and stretch us and require us to go into many new places, we are always connected to the law of divine oneness. And in fact, the law of divine oneness is in direct contradiction to what it means to be human, because in order to take a body and incarnate, we have to separate. We have to separate from source. We have to separate from the limitless energy field of the all that is. And then we find ways to separate ourselves with defining labels. We each possess sovereign individual power from the same source, and we choose to use it in different ways and at different times in our soul's growth. We are a group of spiritual beings who are having a human experience with the intention of developing more fully in whatever ways your soul wants to grow. External realities can certainly reinforce the belief that we are separate, which we are physically and otherwise. Yet the law of divine oneness is the conscious remembrance that we are a collective family of humanity, united and equally formed in the higher realms. The purpose of this universal spiritual law is to connect our conscious minds and open hearts to compassion, joy, support, gratitude, and appreciation of one another as we walk our separate, soulful paths. The law of divine oneness serves to return us to a place of loving, accepting, and enjoying each other as family from the same source, and providing that bigger, higher perspective around our collective energetic unity. And to be real, there's a time and a place for tapping into that. And so if that lights you up right now, then clearly that is your energy saying yes, yes, yes. And if that pisses you off right now, then that's your energy saying, I'm not there yet. And that is absolutely something to honor. Now, in the spirit of reminding you to take care and go for whatever is best for your energy right now. I want to share with you a quick story about this past weekend where myself and Rob Thomas hosted our Shine Your Success Frequency event that had been rescheduled. It was rescheduled due to Hurricane Helene coming through Western North Carolina. We rescheduled it for Charlotte this past weekend, and we were amazed at how over 40 people adjusted their lives to make this last minute pivot happen. Over 40 people committed to being in their success and learning more about themselves showed up for this event. We were so grateful, so excited to connect with each person. And I have to tell you that after being in conversation and connection with these 40 people for 3 days, the world is going to be more than okay with so many talented, gifted light beings on the planet now. There are so many of you who are working hard to trust and follow your soul purpose, your gifts, your talents. It's coming together. It's going to pay off. And your level of commitment is amazing. We had Anna fly from Australia to be with us in Charlotte, 23 hours each way. We had people travel from Mexico, from Canada, from all over the US. Again, a last minute pivot. They rescheduled their lives to be there. And Rob and I are committed. We are there for you. We are showing up for you because this information is vital and it's going to set you up for your long-term gifts and success. So there are people who are doing this work, who are committed, and no doubt there's thousands of you who feel the same. Understand that we are the change now. We are the new leaders. We are the ones who are needed moving into this new era and this new cycle. The world is going to be more than okay because of what you are embracing in yourself. So focus on that right now if you need to. Turn to your own path. Stay committed to yourself and focus on what you can control and how you can power up. This is an exciting time here on planet Earth, the place to be, where the consciousness is continuing to expand. The ascension journey is happening. We've already crossed the tipping point for the light required on this planet, and there is more to come. There are more victories to come. There are more amazing developments to happen. There are good things occurring now, and that is something you can absolutely choose to trust. Trust your gifts, trust your soul purpose, and trust that nothing can take you away from that, especially when you are determined and committed. So again, I just want to thank all of you who showed up in Charlotte this past weekend. I love being able to have conversations with you. I did a ton of free sessions for people. I did these like flash 10-minute sessions for people. It lasted hours, but it was great to learn more about your world and your life and what you're moving through. Because hey, this story isn't on the news about light workers powering up, but that's what really matters right now because we are going to some awesome, exciting places. If you are an astrologer, an intuitive, a reader, if you work one-on-one with people and you use astrology, please check out my online business training program that helps you enhance your business and make sure that you're giving people a lot of good value for your wisdom and insights. It's called Shine Your Guiding Light. It's an online program designed for those who do personal sessions. I share with you some of my biggest business mistakes and things I've learned from doing this work with people in one-on-one sessions. I share with you the financial side of it, what you need to have in place, what you need to set up, what's essential for your business practices. And I share with you a lot more about astrological wisdom and helpful ways of navigating tough conversations with clients, including dealing with people who are always in victim mode or people who don't want to grow, don't want to change, dealing with people who always want to schedule a session with you, almost like they're addicted, and some of the pitfalls of that, and on and on. I share a lot. So check that out if this is something that could support you. You can get $100 off with coupon code SHINE And this is different than the in-person business training we just did in Charlotte as well. This is more about doing one-on-one sessions and establishing your business. And then the in-person business events are about working with your astrology chart and your human design chart, which is something that Rob and I actually first launched back in early 2020. We will be offering more in-person events in 2025, and I will let you know when that schedule is available. Also, my 2025 Soul Growth Astrology program is coming. It's just so dang much next year. It's a ton of information and astrology, and I want to get it right. I want it to be really good for you. So it's coming out soon, but just so you know, that's why it's delayed, is because there's just a lot of astrology, and it will be my biggest soul growth astrology program to date as well. So on that note, wishing you a lovely week ahead as we continue on through the intensities of Scorpio season and we approach the Taurus Full Moon on November 15th. You can find all of my latest programs and courses at mollymccord.online. And as always, I look forward to connecting with you again every Monday and Wednesday. Have a beautiful week ahead, and I'll see you back here soon.